Hey everybody, Jess here. Welcome back to my channel, and you're joining me for my very first book haul video. It's almost the end of August, of course. I had a really big book haul this month. I probably got 40 books. Tuesday, which is September 1st, is actually my birthday. I'll be 27. Pretty sure my parents and my grandparents are both getting me Books A Million gift cards or something else. Also just ordered 16 books from bookoutlet.com. So that's going to be counting for the month of September because technically it's my birthday present from my husband. I got a few books. Maybe 4 of all of the books that I got this month came from actual stores. I think I got 2 or 3 from Books A Million. Several of them came from bookoutlet.com, but the majority of them, I want to say, I know I got over 40 books, and I think that it was 40 that I got from the thrift store, and I spent maybe $40 on all 40 of the ones from the thrift store, and the rest all came, they were pretty cheap, except for the ones from Books A Million. Those were freaking expensive. Anyways, so we're just going to jump in here, but I just wanted to make sure you guys know that about 95% of this haul came from the thrift store. I'm not rich. I do not spend all of my money on books. I don't have a bunch of beautiful, perfect new books. I get most of my books from the thrift store or as gifts for my birthday and stuff from my family members. Anyways, these first books I actually had ebook copies of, but they're books that I really wanted to have hardcover copies of. The first one is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, which is book 5 in the Mortal Instruments series. All 5 other books I had in actual hard copies on my shelf, and they're one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite series, so I really wanted to have a complete set for my shelf. I'm not happy that I got the paperback one because books 4 and 6 in the series I have the really nice hardcover copies. This looks absolutely stupid because I have them stacked vertically to make more room on my favorite shelf. And this looks ridiculous, just peeking all in there with these hardcover books hanging out in front of it. It's hilarious, but I am just happy to have a copy. I may eventually see if I can get all the other books, including this one, in hardcover, but it's not a priority. Second book I got, this is one that I had an ebook copy of as well. It's Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, which is the 3rd book in the Infernal Devices series. Now, I have the whole series, but I haven't read it. I've got them all in these beautiful hardcover on my TBR shelf. I haven't actually gotten to them. I started to read Clockwork Angel, I think is the first one. I started to read it and then something happened. I didn't have any issues reading it. I just never got around to getting back to it. So this has definitely moved up the list on my TBR because now I have the whole series so I can get to it. So I'm really excited. Now this next one, I used to have a hardcover copy of this, but apparently I lost it because I have the second book, but I don't have the first one, and I don't have an ebook copy of it either. Now, that is Beautiful Creatures by Kami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This is the first book. I have the second book, and what makes me really agitated is I have this beautiful copy, minus the sticker, of Beautiful Darkness, which, I mean, it's hardcover, it's beautiful, you know, I've had it for quite some time. They're the only 2 books I have in the series, but I did like what I read of the series, so I want to continue with it. I just have not gotten around. So I'm not happy that I got the movie cover of this. I wish I had been able to find the black and the purple. It was so pretty. So, but this came from the thrift store, and I'm just glad that I managed to find. This next section of books is kind of lengthy. I've got quite a few books. These are books that I actually had ebook copies of, but I want to have copies of on my shelf. So first is the series by Kim Harrison, which is, I think the name of the series is The Hollows, but this came from the thrift store as well. This is the first book in the series, Dead Witch Walking. I have like the first 3 or 4 books on my Nook app on my iPad. These next 2 books, this is very high on my list of favorite series. This is the Fever series. These are the Michaela Lane novel series, whatever. They're by Karen Marie Mooney. I got Dark Fever and Shadow Fever. Shadow Fever is the 5th book. This is the first book. I have all 5 books on my Nook app, but I adored these. I love books about the Fae, but I especially love books about the Fae where there's not some, knight in shining wings there to rescue, the damsel in distress. She's gone to Ireland to avenge her sister, who was murdered by a Fae. But anyways, I'm not going to go all into that. But next, I have not read these. Yeah, I had the second book in this series, and when I saw these 2, I knew that I did want to read it at some point, and that is the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. I've got The Golden Compass and The Amber Spyglass. I had the Subtle Knife already, so these were perfect to find at the thrift store. I was very excited. Next, this is Magic by Angie Sage. It's the Septimus Heap series. It's missing the dust jacket, but it came from the thrift store, and I was really, really excited to find it. I really enjoyed it when I read it, so I got that. Next, I think it's the Meredith Gentry series is what it is, by Laurel K. Hamilton. I love Laurel K. Hamilton. I got A Crest of Twilight, Minstrel's Kiss, Swallowing Darkness, and Seduced by Moonlight. I know that I don't have the first one. I'm pretty sure none of these is the first one, but I loved this series, so I am a little irritated by this one. I watched this video about, Bookish Pet Peeves, I think it was, and it was that, you know, hardcover books come in two sizes. You've got your standard hardback and your tall hardback. There's no standard size with these. Then I have two books by Sherilyn Kenyon, and they are part of the Dark Hunter series. I've got Dance with the Devil and Unleash the Night. I did find a few others of these at the thrift store, but they were in the taller copies. And this series I adore. I am a Kenyon minion all the way, and I want to have them all really nice and matched. Next, I got Moon Called by Patricia Briggs. I loved this series as well. This is the first book in the Mercy Thompson series. I have several of them on my Nook app, and I really, really liked them. So she's a skinwalker. She actually transforms into a coyote, which is really cool. Next are two books that are by authors that I love, and there are other series that they wrote that I haven't read, so I picked them up. I have what I believe is the first book in the League, series, which is by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is Born of Night. I got this at the thrift store as well. I have heard great things about this from other Kenyon minions, but I've not read it before, so I'm really excited to check this out. It was $1, I think, at the next. I don't know if any of you guys have read the Tiger's Curse series by Colleen Hook. I adored it. I absolutely adored it. So when she came out with something that plays on Egyptian mythology, which is Reawakened by Colleen Hook, I had to get this. This is one of the other books I got at Books A Million. I am very, very excited to read it. Look at the spine of this. Is that not beautiful? The cover. I mean, this is gorgeous, and it plays with Egyptian mythology. The Tiger's Curse saga was beautiful. I loved it. The play with Indian mythology, beautiful. So this is one that I got as well because I loved her other work and I really wanted to check this out. All right, next I've got books that I have seen other people talk about. First, I have The Graceling by Kristen Kishore. I rented it from the library, I read it, and I loved it. So I went and picked myself up a copy at Second Chop. Next, I have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, which is the first book in the Mistborn series. I don't know if it's a trilogy or what. The Mysterious Benedict Society, which I think is a middle grade series, duology. I think there are only 2 books. I decided I'd pick it up because I found it at the thrift store and thought it was pretty cool. I've got Uglies by Scott Westerfield. I've heard a lot of people talk about this. I only got the first book. I didn't see any of the others anyways, but I only got the first one in the series. And I'm really excited to check this out. This next one came from bookoutlet.com, and that is The Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson. I heard some good things about this. I saw a lot of people hauling it in their videos, and then everybody was raving about the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson, so I thought this was a good thing to pick up. Another one that is from bookoutlet.com is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. I am really excited to read this. I've never read any of her books. I had never even heard of Rainbow Rowell until I started watching some booktubers. So I got this. It's the nice, really pretty hardcover, and I think that the actual cover is beautiful as well. Next is something that I am incredibly excited to read, and that is The Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, both by Laini Taylor. I don't have the third one yet, but I've heard amazing things about them. I know that a lot of people have said this has become one of their favorite series, so I'm really looking forward to it. The last one that I picked up because I had heard people talking about it is actually not that I heard booktubers talking about it or other readers talking about it. I actually heard my gaming buddies talk about it, and that is The Time of Contempt by Andrzej Sapkowski, I think is how it's pronounced. Yes, I am dying to have all of these, so I found this one, so I grabbed it. Even though it's the second one, I'd rather go ahead and get it, and I'll see if I can find the first one later. I have a few books that I picked up simply because either the title or the cover caught my attention. This first one, Witchling by Yasmin Galenorn. The cover kind of grabbed me, and the name of the book, and then it says meet 3 semi-supernatural sisters out to save the other world. So it looked really cool. I don't know anything about this. I've never read it. I've never heard of the author, but I'm excited to give it a read because it looks pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. Next, I heard a couple of people talk about this on BookTube, and then this is the author of Ella Enchanted. So I don't see how it wouldn't be good, but this is Ferris by Gail Carson Levine. And the cover got me. I vaguely remembered hearing somebody talk about it on BookTube, and then when I saw that it was Ella Enchanted, that kind of excited me. I don't know, it says it's a new novel set in the world of Ella Enchanted, so I may look into getting the Ella Enchanted book. So I grabbed this. I don't know anything about it. I just got it, but we'll see how that goes. This came from bookoutlet.com, and that is The Glass Arrow by Kristen Simmons. The cover got me, and so I grabbed it. I'm kind of excited to figure out what this is about. I mean, I have read the synopsis. It sounds good, so I'm going to check it out because the cover really called to me. Next, I have some books that are, you know, kind of middle grade or children's books that I just really want. These are something I can read with my kids, and that is the Treasury of Illustrated Classics, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which I'm excited for, and Treasury of Illustrated Classics, Peter Pan. My son's in kindergarten now, so I've been looking for some good things that I can read with him, so this is exciting. I have the first 4 books in the series of Unfortunate Events, and I'm excited. I read the first one of these. I've seen the movie. I read the first book a long time ago, but I'd really like to, you know, give it a read and actually read the whole thing. I haven't started on them yet. They're on my TBR shelf, but I'm excited for them. So I got the first 4 of these. They're all the little hardcovers. They're not in the best of shape. They are very obviously used. These were all from the thrift store. Next is a series that I had heard of when I was young, probably around the time when I first started reading Harry Potter, which was when it first came out. The Charlie Bones series. I found books 1, 3, 4, and 5, all hardcover. I'm hoping to find the second one. I know it's probably a little silly, but I always kind of wanted to read them. Next are some series that I don't think I've read. I've read 2 of these books that I'm about to show you in this set. So, but most of them are books that I have just always, you know, I always wanted to get around to getting them and reading them, but I never did. So when I started coming across them at like the thrift store and stuff, I just picked them up. So first off, I've got the first 3 books in the Princess Diaries series. I've got The Princess Diaries, Princess in the Spotlight, and Princess in Waiting. Oh no, this is books 1, 2, and 4. I'm missing book 3. Those are my kids. Not in the bed. Really excited to read these. I've always wanted to. I loved the movies. Next, I have the first 3 Chronicles of Narnia books. I have The Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and The Horse and His Boy. And I was really excited because I actually did not find these at the same store, but the covers are all the same type of cover. I've never read any of the Narnia books. I've seen the first movie and only the first movie. Next is the first book in a series as well. This is Pretty Little Liars, the very first book. I did not buy any of the others, even though I did see some while I was... So I got the first one, and I'm excited to read it because I did love the TV show. So, awesome. Next is actually 3 out of 4, I think, of a graphic novel series, and these are also something I have been dying to read because I am a Kenyon minion. These are by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is volumes 1, 2, and 4 of the Dark Hunters graphic novel series. I am really, really, really excited to read these. Just awesome. I'm so excited. So these are the covers for these, and I can't wait. The last 2 books, and I could have missed some while I was grabbing off of my shelves, but these next 2 were actually books that I read when I was very young. These were 2 of the books that kind of ignited my love of reading, really, that set me off on the path that I am now with so many books and just an avid reader. Anyway, so these were 2 of the first books that really ignited my love of reading, and that is Julie of the Wolves by Jean Craighead George and Walk 2 Moons by Sharon Creech. I loved these books when I was young. I was probably maybe in 5th grade. So these have earned an awesome spot on my shelf. Okay, so I came up with a few other ones that I needed to haul. First is The Chaos of Stars. I have read this. I got it from Books of Million. It was at the either the very beginning of the month or the tail end of July. I don't remember, but I picked it up as well as Dead Beautiful. It's by Yvonne Wood. I have not read this yet, but it's on my TBR shelf, though I haven't heard very good things about it, so I'm a little worried. And this is by Kirsten White. 2 books that were actually loaned to me by my best friend, Jenna. This shout out's for you, babe. This is Wake and Fade by Lisa McMahon. I have read these. I haven't read the 3rd one, though. After reading these 2, I'm dying to read the 3rd one because I don't like not finishing things. So I'm not entirely sure what to think of the way it's all kind of laid out, date and time. It's very strange. It's like somebody writing a journal or something. But yeah, I did borrow these two from a friend of mine. Now from my library, after I got Graceling, I loved it so much I went back and I got, I think it was Fire and Bitter Blue. Crap. In the Graceling Realm series. I do plan to eventually get copies of those for my shelf, though I wasn't as happy with Fire. I think it's Fire. I think that's the second book is Fire. I wasn't as happy with it as I was with Graceling and Bitter Blue. This is one I also picked up while I was there. It's Finnegan of the Rock. I haven't read it yet, but it is by Melina Marchetta. I've heard great things about this on BookTube. I'm hoping to get around to it, but I also received 2 ebooks that are read to review for the young adults buddy reading corner is what I think it's called. So I'm trying to review those before I start anything from my TBR shelf. So, but yes, this basically wraps up my book haul for the month of August. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this was my first book haul. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really look forward to doing a birthday haul with you once my order from bookoutlet.com gets here and once I get my whatever books or gift cards or whatever I'm going to get and I get to go spend those. I'll do a birthday book haul instead of waiting until the end of September. So thank you guys so much for watching.